How are you doing, everyone? I am the YuGiOh Scrub, and you're about to watch me eat 5 eggs in 4 minutes. Well, not really, but I did just do that because I'm a human being, I need sustenance, and I need to have energy so I can record these incredibly fast intros, because I want to record a lot today. It is MLK Day still, my day off of work, and I want to get as many videos recorded and uploaded for you all so you have some content to watch. Today, I'm hoping I get lucky. I'm feeling pretty lucky because I'm playing Flip Control, aka Coin Flip Control. You can see here, Fairy Box. It's a really interesting card. I feel like it's a playground staple. Everyone used to use this. But it's a really interesting card. Because it's luck-based, you don't see it very often, but when it starts going on a roll, oh my goodness, Fairy Box is incredible and actually get you some pretty big pluses. So let's talk about it real fast. This is Coin Flip Control, relying on Fairy Box. If you don't know what this does, when your opponent's monster declares an attack, you flip a coin. If you call it right, the monster's attack becomes a 0. So basically, they attack whatever monster you have on the board, even if it's bigger. If you call the coin flip right, it becomes 0. They take the damage, and the monster is destroyed. If your monster is in defense position, well, then it just takes the damage, the monster is not destroyed. Then we are running Sasuke Samurai number 4, somewhat similar. Flip a coin, call it right. If you get it right, then the monster is destroyed. Reinforcement of the army just to get to the Sasuke Samurais, but we're also running Exiled Force and DD Warrior Lady. Now this is where the Fairy Box kind of combos come in. So I have Dawn Zalug. So Dawn Zalug, when it does damage to your opponent, they discard a card. Well, that doesn't matter how it does damage. So if your opponent is attacking in with Fairy Box and you attacking your Dawn Zalug and you flip Fairy Box, and then they end up taking damage because you call the coin flip right, well, not only do you destroy the monster, but you also make them discard a card. So it's a little interesting combo. That's kind of where I'm going with this deck, is hopefully getting some pluses with the Dawn Zalug Fairy Box. Then we're running Pot of Greed, Graceful, Delinquent Duo, Heavy Storm, MST, Premature, Snatch Steal, just all the good 1-up spells. The other monsters in this deck are serve another kind of purpose. The Desk Kangaroo, Legendary Jujitsu Master, and Thousand Needles all do something similar. When these monsters are in defense position, really the Thousand Needles or Legendary Jujitsu Master, but then Kangaroo also does something similar where if the monster is attacked and you Fairy Box it, they will be destroyed, basically. That's long story short. So even if they're in defense position, your opponent's monster attacks, normally they would just take the damage, but the monster would not be destroyed. Jujitsu Master will put it on top of the deck, and they take damage. Thousand Needles will make them take damage, and then it gets destroyed. And then Desk Kangaroo, if the attack of a monster that attacks this monster is... if the attack is lower than the defense of this monster, then the attacking monster is destroyed. So if this is in defense, it gets attacked, and then Fairy Box makes it 0. It's now 0. That's lower than 1700. It's destroyed. We're running the 3 fake traps to keep Fairy Box alive. We would run Judgments, but we don't want to pay too many life points because you do have to pay 500 life points per standby phase to keep Fairy Box alive, and that's per copy. You can use multiple copies in the same battle. So say my opponent attacks Dawn Zalug and I have 2 Fairy Box, I flip them both face up, flip 2 coins, and as long as one of them is right, then the effect goes through of Fairy Box. Running 2 Magic Drain just so we also can protect it from like Heavy Storms, things like that. Nobleman Cross out, Jar Greeds just so we see our combo pieces. That's really it. You guys can see this deck. Wang Hu, Kaiku on the side, some Mind Controls. We're just going to go ahead and play. This deck wasn't the most well thought through, but like there was a good amount of effort thought into this. Click this button for your viewing pleasure. Click ready, because I am ready to get lucky against my opponent, assuming they click ready in 2, 1, nope, they were not ready apparently. Hope everyone is having a fantastic day. If you're not having a fantastic day, go and make it a fantastic day, and then you can come back and finish this video and watch me get lucky, but I hope you get lucky. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. Alright, we're gonna do my patented leave and rejoin the pool, because it will always work. Let's take another sip of coffee. And excuse me while I reach back and grab my phone. And just quickly respond to this text. And there's my opponent. We'll pick Rock, and we'll pick Rock again, and look, we win. Alright, going first. Now that that text has been sent, I can put my phone back in my pocket, and look at this. Look at this. We draw a pretty solid hand. Fairy Box, Fake Trap, Magic Drain, Pot of Greed, Nobleman of Crossout, Reinforcement of the Army. We will Pot of Greed to start. Drawing Sasuke Samurai number 4 and MST. Let us go ahead. Although I really don't want to kind of reveal what I'm playing, I am going to go ahead and get myself the Don Zalug. And then we will just set a bunch of spells and traps. I will take the 1-for-1. Not 1-for-1, the 1,000 life points from the Upstart Goblin. I'm not going to Magic Drain an Upstart. It would be interesting, should I Magic Drain an Upstart? I'm not going to, I've already gained 1,000 life points. But would it be? It's a 1-for-1 trade, Magic Drain for Upstart. But if my opponent really wants that draw, they could go neg 1. We draw another Fake Trap. Let's go ahead, MST this back row. It was a Torrential Tribute, and my opponent left the duel. Oh, it's not counting down, so... And my opponent quit. Well, that is unfortunate. I didn't even get a chance to Nobleman across out and rip a card from my opponent's hand. And that was a great opening hand as well. That sucks. Oh, that's so unfortunate. All I wanted to do was start ripping cards. Like, it was about to work. Okay, we win the rock, paper, scissors again, so... Back to doing what we want to do. What is my opponent's name? Nerogori? Nerogor? Alright, opening hand. Looks okay again. We have Death Kangaroo, Don Zalug, Fake Trap, Snatch, Steal, Heavy Storm. We'll go ahead. Set Fake Trap, set Fairy Box, summon Don Zalug, and end. Opponent discards Thunder Dragon, searching himself. 2 Thunder Dragons, I assume. That is exactly what happens. My opponent never opens up 2 Thunder Dragons. Then Upstart Goblins. We'll take 1,000 life points. Pretty similar to that last game. Delinquent Duos. Hitting Snatch, Steal. And we'll get rid of Heavy Storm. Graceful Charity. All he needs now is a Pot of Greed. Discarding Thunder Dragon and Thunder Dragon. Heavy Storm coming my way. Nope, he sets a back row and a monster and ends. We draw a legendary Jiu-Jitsu Master. We'll just go ahead and set the Jiu-Jitsu Master, and we'll try to attack. It's a spy. That's fine by me. Probably should have attacked before setting the Jiu-Jitsu Master, but it doesn't really matter. Dust Tornado hits Fake Trap. That's fine by me. Even if it's actually better. If he had targeted the Fairy Box, I would have Fake Trapped and he would have seen the Fairy Box anyways. So let's hope that my opponent, I don't know, tributes for Thunder Dragon and tries to attack. He has Pot of Greed, so he has all of the Trinity. He has Delinquent Duoed, Graceful Charity, and Pot of Greed all by turn 2. Nobleman a Crossout hits the Jiu-Jitsu Master. He sets a back row and a monster and ends his turn. Let's go ahead. And we'll just pop this monster. Sangan? Nope, it's a Dekoichi. That's a fine trade by me. I'll take the flip no activation. Though he does have a dark engrave now, and we'll end our turn. And he hits the fairy box. I probably should have just conceded, because now he knows that we're running fairy box and basically knows the purpose of this deck, and this deck is absolutely at its best when it's catching people off guard. But I don't know, maybe we can still do something here. We get 1,000 needles. We'll set the 1,000 needles. And we'll try to attack this face down. It's a Dekoichi. Fine by me. He uses Regeki Break on the 1,000 needles. I wish Parshath was 2100 attack, because I absolutely would run it in this deck. He's viewing his graveyard, so he's going to banish BLS or Chaos Sorc. It's a Chaos Sorcerer. Summon Tsukiyomi. I don't know if he actually can change it and then change it again, but I'm just going to assume, you know, I'll play it as if he had done it prior. Like summon the Tsukiyomi, flip it, and then flip it this time. We'll take 3,500 from all these attacks. I'd rather just play it out than Rule Shark and say, well, you already swapped it to attack, so when you go, you can't swap it again. Because I don't think he'd be able to. We draw Reinforcement of the Army. We'll go ahead. Get Don Zalug. Rip the Torrential Tribute out of his hand. The only reason I haven't conceded yet is because I was just seeing if maybe I could gather some information by ripping cards out of his hand. And I've gathered the information that he's running Torrential Tribute, as if he wouldn't be running Torrential Tribute. Very few decks choose not to run Torrential Tribute. Okay, I mean, that's game. Alright, we'll bring in some monsters. Now that we've tried to play with our crappy strategy, let's bring in a decent strategy. Take out Jar of Greeds. Take out maybe one False Trap. Alright, we'll go in with this. Now that we can bring in the Kaikus and the Wang-Hus. Wang-Hu kind of works in this deck because you can just set the monsters and then hope that your opponent attacks into them with bigger things, and then Fairy Box and do that whole jazz. Fairy Box getting rid of your opponent's bigger monsters, and then they can't summon the small monsters, and it's probably actually should be main decked, if I'm being honest. It's probably one of the better synergies with Fairy Box. Okay. So we don't want to summon Wang-Hu quite yet, I don't think. We'll summon Sasuke Samurai number 4 and end. Sasuke Samurai number 4's effect that destroys the monster does happen before flips, which is why I wanted to summon 4. Because I can then summon Wang-Hu. So yeah, this is kind of what I was hoping for. He sets a few back row. Heavy Storm? Nope. But we do have the ability now to summon the YuGiOh. Tails. And it's heads. So it doesn't get destroyed, it gets flipped. It's a Sangan. So it gets destroyed anyways. He gets a Sinister Serpent, and we will attack with the YuGiOh. Does it get Raigeki broken? It gets a Sakuretsu armored. And we'll just end our turn. Graceful Charity. Draws him 3 cards. He will be discarding, almost certainly, yep, the Sinister Serpent. Don't know why it would be anything else. Probably not Knight Assailant, because he doesn't have another Knight Assailant or another flip to add back. He's thinking, though. Discards to Koichi. Okay, well, he is Pot of Greed, so of course. No, let me get duoed. No light in grave. Opponent sets a back row and ends. We draw 1,000 needles. Let's go ahead, activate Rhoda. Do we get Torrential? We do. I had a feeling, but I'm just playing aggressive. Summons a breaker. $1,900 attack. And does he attack? Nope, he sets a back row and now he goes to attack. We draw Pot of Greed. We activate Pot of Greed, which lets me draw 2 cards from my deck. Getting Fake Trap and Magic Drain. We'll go ahead. Activate Sasuke Samurai, or summon Sasuke Samurai number 4. Try to attack. Heads. Now it's going to be tails. Nope, it is heads. So we destroy the breaker. We will set Fake Trap and Magic Drain, which Fake Trap gets Dust Tornadoed, and Magic Drain stays. So that's what I'd like. I prefer Fake Trap to stay. Opponent has 6 cards in hand. 5 now, because he set 1. 2 back row. And sets a monster. We draw Rhoda. Let us go ahead. Activate Rhoda. Getting ourselves Exiled Force. Popping the Knight Assailant, okay. He Sakuretsu armors the Sasuke Samurai number 4. Unfortunate, but I'm fine with that. He Raigeki breaks, getting rid of the Magic Drain. So he's drawing into 5 cards. Well, drawing into 4, getting a 5th from the Sinister Serpent, so 4 cards plus 4 cards For unknown plus Sinister Serpents, draw Cypher Soldier. Alright. We'll just go ahead and attack over Cypher with the Kaiku. And banish Knight Assailant and Sangan. Set Mirror Force and end. So no Chaos Monsters. Getting rid of those two, Knight Assailant, because it is a flip that he could potentially get back with the Knight Assailant, doing the Knight Assailant loop for discarding. And then Sangan, because if he is running Call of the Haunted, it's by far the best target. If I was to say Heavy Storm, then he chains it, get Sangan, blah, blah, blah. Sangan would get a search. He sets a monster and ends. We will just go ahead and attack. It's a spy. I kind of thought it might be. And we'll go ahead, set 1,000 Needles, and end. He discards Thunder Dragon, getting himself 2 more Thunder Dragons. So we know he has Serpent, double Thunder Dragon in hand, so 3 unknown cards. Yep, he can't banish because of the Kaiku. He just sets a monster and ends. We'll go ahead and attack. It's a Knight Assailant. We'll set Jujitsu Master and Magic Drain. I imagine now he will summon the Chaos Monster. He's viewing the graveyard, so I imagine it's coming. Banishes Thunder Dragon and Breaker. 4 Chaos Sorcerer. And we will Mirror Force, getting rid of all of those monsters. He sets a back row. We draw Don Zaluk, which is perfect. He has used Torrential, so it's a Mirror Force. I figured it was going to be something, but I'd rather force it out with Don Zaluk than play it safe. And I'm happy it's Mirror Force instead of a Sakuretsu Armor or Regeki Break, because that would have just been an easy 1-for-1 for him. We'll summon the Kaiku that we just drew for turn, and attack Magician of Faith. So we know he has Thunder Dragon and Sinister Serpent. 2 Thunder Dragon, Sinister Serpent, Magician of Faith. So we'll act... Yep. You gotta hold up a little bit faster, which is fine. Okay, so he makes it go through. He discards an Noble and a Crossout, so... Graceful Charity does resolve. That's why Magic Drain is not quite as good as Magic Jammer. But I just don't really have good discard fodder in this deck, which is why I want to run the Magic Drain. I do think Magic Drain is an underrated card. Maybe I'll do, like, top 10 underrated cards. I know, like, other channels have done it too, and at a certain point, it's going to be, like, the same spells and the same traps, but you can't help but kind of, have some overlap when you're talking about certain cards. This is an interesting card. Monster Reincarnation. Gets Gravekeeper's Spy. We draw a legendary Jujitsu Master. We'll set it and end. There's 11 cards in deck. There's the fairy box. We'll set it and end. I knew it was probably going to get hit with a Dust Tornado or a Regeki Break. Jar of Greed, so he's at 10 cards left in deck. Technically, though, Jujitsu Master will put more cards in deck. Sinister Serpent added back to his hand from the graveyard. Tribe Infecting Virus will pop the Kaiku. And now we just have to hope that we don't die here. He sets a monster, flips Gravekeeper's Spy. No more spies in deck. Jujitsu Master will put Spy on top of his deck. And I hope he attacks with Tribe. He does not. We will set more, though. He draws the Spy. Flips to Koichi. Draws with the Koichi. Summons the Spy. Spy will get destroyed from the effect of Thousand Needles. The worst part about this deck is it just relies on your opponent attacking. And any deck that relies on your opponent doing something is always going to be worse than a deck that relies on you doing something. Because if you can be proactive, that's better than not. Okay, so he's gonna discard Serpent, getting rid of my Jujitsu Masters. We draw Heavy Storm. He hasn't used Delinquent Duo yet, so we'll set just so we don't get ripped for 2 cards from a duo. He adds back Sinister Serpent. We know that he drew to Koichi for turn. Unfortunately, these are both beasts, but Koichi will be destroyed. Main phase 2, he pops my monsters. and ends his turn. We draw Ring of Destruction, which we will set. There's a Heavy Storm. We will Chain Ring. And lose our back row. He had a ring of his own. Tribe gets popped. And unfortunately, it looks like a Chaos Monster is coming our way, which Thousand Needles is not able to destroy because it has to be lower attack. And there's Cypher Soldier. Okay, well, it's not exactly game yet. Fake Trap, though that will be game. Unfortunate. And he left the duel. 31 minutes. Unfortunately, guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. I just don't want to record too much longer. I don't have a ton more time right now, and I want to potentially get one more video out. And if I record now, I don't know if I'll be able to record another one, blah, 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 blah. And frankly, this deck, you saw what it's trying to do. Wish I could have used some Fairy Box a little bit more, frankly. I didn't use any Fairy Box this game, so I will have to return, but I'm going to make a better Fairy Box deck than this one. I just wanted to kind of come up with a memey coin flip control deck. You guys saw it. Almost got a little win. I was hoping maybe we'd get lucky and get a deck out against that Chaos deck, but we did not. Thank you all for watching. Let me know what you think about this deck. Let me know what else you want me to play in the comment section. Like the video, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. Goodbye.